Any of you could just send the message to our WhatsApp group. What is the policy of the church for somebody who falls ill or whatever? You will see it will run out principles for you. Am I making sense? I don't even need to know about it. The system should kick in. I don't know if you get the point. And it doesn't matter who the person is. I don't know if I'm making any sense. It doesn't matter who the person is. It should be an automated system. It's a standard that is available to everybody. Of course, some people will be treated extremely differently, not because they are special, but because of the work they've done or the sacrifices they've made. Am I making sense? Somebody like Pastor Isaac who runs around, does all that, you would go out of your way to make sure. Am I making sense? All right? So we want people to understand how decisions are made. And that's what we're talking about, a decision system. You need to have this in your life. You need to have it in your company. You need to have it with your children, because they're going to have to make decisions in future. And they're going to look at you and what you left behind. All right? What principles do I believe that made me choose this decision? Can anybody explain, what you're doing? Am I making sense? All right? I can't spend too much time on this. All right? It says, if you make it really explicit and clear, then you will gain trust. Am I making sense? People now can start making their own decisions on their own. You don't need to start. But I found out that one of the biggest challenges, I was talking to somebody in Lagos. She said to me, look, Pastor, the problem with people is that they don't want any responsibilities. And so when something happens, we have a security issue here. One of our security men left abruptly, so they brought a lady. And I have a policy here that you shouldn't put a young lady to do security overnight. Am I making sense? One, she doesn't have the physical power to resist. She's likely to be raped. Am I making sense if there's an attack? So I have a policy. You know what I mean? That no women at night. They can do day. We're not discriminating against them. But not at night. And then how do you have one woman and one man and they won't sleep together every night for the next 30 days? Come on now. I'm just inviting the child first. So when I was in Lagos, they sent me a message that they said, the companies, I said, you don't need to even ask me. You say to them, I don't need to ask him. This decision will be rejected by the system that is on the ground. Am I making sense? Do you have that? Do you have that? Do you have principles by which this is what I'm doing? I want to play a couple of videos and I want to go to the ones that really touch me. This is a gentleman who had a meeting with Richard Branson. This is what he said.
Bill Gates, Alan Alda, Richard Branson. I will tell you the number one lesson that I learned from Richard Branson. I played for 2 hours is like trying to rehearse this question in my head as to what I would ask him. I said, you run 10 companies. How do you make decisions? And the moral of the story was that most people don't have a framework for making decisions. Therefore, they make dumb decisions. From that day, I started thinking about how I make decisions. Number one, understand the context. So you ask where the shared information is. Number two, you isolate the issue. Hey, what problem are we actually solving? Number three, you accept the risk. If we make this decision, what actually breaks? Number four, you map the decision. Hey, what am I going to do as next steps? Now, when you have a framework for making decisions and someone brings a problem to you, you're like, wait, can you tell me about that? Understand the facts. Then you say, isolate the issue. So the problem we're trying to solve is this. Number three, accept the risk. If we make this decision, we probably can do this project, and this project, and this project. Yes, accept the risk. Number four, okay, given that we're going to do all of that, what is the next step? You make a decision, right? Mm-hmm. No way would I have learned that if I never played tennis with Richard Branson.
Now, I'm not going to go into the details of what he said because it varies for different people. Am I making sense? But I want you to understand the fact that somebody stops long enough to process before he makes a decision. A lot of us make decisions off the cuff. Something happens, we instantly react. Let me give you an example. This is traditional. Pastor Isaac heard his mother had died. His mother-in-law has died. He's left because traditionally he has to show up. But in any other country, when my mother died, I was in Canada and they called me. Am I going to fly that day to come to Ibadan? Now, my arriving in Ibadan is going to bring her back. I don't know if you get the point I mean. So you have to sometimes sit down and say, wait a minute, this rushing that I'm rushing, what am I changing? I don't know if I'm making any. Am I making any? I'm not saying either that what Pastor Isaac or any of we do traditionally is wrong. No, you should show up if you can. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. But if you can't, don't feel bad. Make a logical decision based on the facts. That you're showing up when somebody dies doesn't mean the person is coming back to life. So even if you go 2 hours later, 5 hours later, 3 days later, one week later, they're still today. Am I making sense? We're having problems now. People are doing weddings in Lagos, inviting me. I called them and I said, guys, it will cost me 100,000 naira for petrol to go to Lagos. If I stay in the hotel, another 70, 60,000 plus food. You know what I mean? I go with my PA or somebody like that. I have to make sure that the person is comfortable. By the time I finish, I spend 200,000 just to show up at your wedding. It's not worth it. Can I give you 100,000 and not show up? I found out that they take the 100,000 all the time. So it wasn't really me they wanted at the wedding. But I'm changing their mind. I'm helping them, tell them how I make a decision. And not only that, if I spend 200,000 coming for you, I won't buy you anything. Because I've already spent, no gift. You're not marrying me now. This one is a bit long and I'm not sure we have time for it, but let's just do it for spirituality's sake, okay?
Listen, this issue of decisions, I remember many years ago, I would hear Dr. Murdoch would say, decisions decide destiny. I got what he was saying, but perhaps I did not understand the gravity of what he was saying. I've had the honor of meeting people I used to know many, many years ago. And for some of them, their lives have not changed. Or some of them have become very worst versions of themselves. I remember not too long ago, I met someone I used to know years ago. My goodness, his life was not something to write home about. I had to honestly ask him what happened. But then I was asking something whose answer I already knew. Decisions. Decisions. Your conditions can be great, but your decisions will superimpose your conditions and bring you into a negative consequence if they are poor decisions. Whereas for another, you can have negative conditions surrounding you and make quality choices and decisions that end up bringing you to your desired heavens. I respected the power of choices and decisions when I came into a position of leadership and I understood how serious choices and decisions were. Do you know that one decision can make you a bad father forever? One decision can make you a bad mother forever. This is how powerful it is. One decision or indecision can send you to hell. Not two, not three. One decision. This is how powerful decisions are. There are people who have been sick in the hospital and yet they were able to survive. There are people who had accidents, hit by metals and all of that, and were able to endure. But one decision you can make, it will not injure you physically, but it can literally define your eternal destiny. Whoever told you that choices and decisions are a cheap matter to play with? I can tell you sincerely, you are where you are right now, looking at me, especially if you hate where you are. It is an uncomfortable truth, but I want you to admit it right now in Koinonia, that you are where you are as a reflection of the decisions and the choices that you have made. Apostle, everybody hates me. It has to be demonic. I agree. But those demons require something to work on. And you donated your will through ignorance or your passion to not get knowledge, and cooperated with them in bringing yourself to this current state. Can I tell you, your real deliverance begins the day you admit that I am where I am, comfortable or not, because of the decisions I have made with my life. Hallelujah. There are many people who have made foolish decisions in the name of smartness. Now, when the devil wants to deceive you, he changes the name of the consequences to attract you. Are we together now? Yes. Satan will call poison sweet or whatever it is. And then because the name changed does not mean the outcome will change. Are we together now? Yes.